Morning. How are you?
Good.
You got time for a short interview?
What is it?
I'm doing street epistemology.
Epistemology?
Yeah. So epistemology is the study of knowledge. Street epistemology is a lot less formal.
Philosophy, right?
It was inspired by a philosophy professor, and people are now starting to engage with people where they initiate talks like what I do, or they just wait for people to surface a claim. It's a way of exploring a claim that a person thinks is true by asking questions.
Right.
So maybe, I notice you have a cross around your neck. Maybe you think there's a God, or maybe you think that horoscopes are an accurate reflection of reality, or perhaps you have really strong views on robots and that it's okay to abuse them, something like that. We take a claim, I set a timer, and I ask fairly challenging questions in a respectful way.
Okay.
I want to help you take another look at the steps that you're using to get to your conclusion.
Sure.
Do you want to do a short little interview? Are you okay?
It's like videoed and stuff?
I could blur your face or do audio only.
That's fine.
Okay, no
Let's
problem.
just do it, man.
You want to do
I
it?
got nothing to do.
Oh, okay. Can I ask you just to step a little closer,
Sure,
maybe like
man.
right there? Face me, maybe here. Yeah. And what's your first name?
Gunner.
My name's Anthony.
Anthony?
Thank you for stopping.
Yeah, no problem.
At the end of this conversation, if you're uncomfortable with it, let me know. I'll give you a card. You can email me. You can
Okay.
tell me on the spot or whatever.
Sure.
And I've got this other camera here too. Have you seen me out here?
Once.
Once?
But
okay.
like when I go to like HEB and I see people like, you know, hanging out, wanting to talk to people, sometimes I
At
go
HEB at the grocery
yeah,
store?
like sometimes I go up to them and I'm like, what's up?
I've never.
What are you doing?
Which grocery store do you go to? Because I don't think I've ever seen people hanging out.
Like Spectrum does it a lot. Like they have Spectrum dudes out there, and well, just some people sometimes are like selling
Salespeople.
drinks or something, and like no one goes up to them and talks to them. So people
Yeah.
just fucking blow them off. All the
Oh,
time,
are you
so.
stopping out of pity? You don't have to.
No. You said something, so I was just like, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Sure, let's
I,
do it.
I don't want you to feel obligated to do
No,
it.
no.
And you can leave at any point. The idea here is
I'm actually kind of intrigued.
Me too, yeah. Well, it is intriguing because people surface all sorts of reasons for thinking that things are true. And then the act of going and doing this version of street epistemology, or this version of epistemology, can shed light on strengths and weaknesses with your thought process of getting to your conclusion.
Yeah.
And I think there's value in that, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Sure.
All right. Now, I can't do a thing until you surface a claim that you make and you act out on because you think that it's true. So is there something that we can actually discuss that you're comfortable with us discussing and you're comfortable with me challenging you about?
What do most people say?
Most people pick supernatural things, so they think ghosts are real, karma,
Oh, okay.
I can rearrange my furniture in a certain way, or they think that there's a higher power. Those are the more common ones, but we can talk about...
Let's do like ghosts. Like
Ghosts.
The supernatural.
Okay. Do you think that they're real?
Man, dude. Yes, I do think they're real. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because we out of the ranch that we hunt and out in I have a late aunt that lived out there, and when we go hunt, we stay at that house, and every time we go in there before, like my dad lets us know that, you know, you may hear stuff, you may see things, but it's not a big deal because it's your aunt. Like there's no reason to be scared, and that's ever since when we were like 9-10 years old. So the TV will turn on, turn back off, like in the shower, water will run like on its own and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that was just how it was growing up. I was never really scared. Like a cool experience. Like
okay.
Something's here, but there's no reason to be scared because it's my dad's sister.
Gotcha.
I've never had a terrifying experience. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great example.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic. And actually, I talked to somebody yesterday who surfaced something different. Like she's from Jamaica, and she has this view that a ghost will follow you into the house if you don't walk backwards through the door when you go into the house.
I guess
So we
everybody
explored
has
it.
their own, like,
Yeah, and she also said something similar. This was something that she was told when she was growing up.
yeah.
Here's what I'm wondering though. How confident are you that it's factually true and real on a scale from 0 to 100? Not that you were told it and it was a kind of a novel thing that your dad shared with you. How confident are you that it's real, that it's true? Where 100% is there's no question in my mind, there's no doubt. That really is the ghost of my dad's sister.
Well, in my the experience I had, it was 100% because I witnessed with my own eyes stuff happening in the house when no one was around. And I've never seen anything like that, just like on ghost adventures, like TV shows and scary stories. But once you actually experience something like that, it changes your whole perspective. Because I've always had beliefs like that it wasn't true, because like there's no actual footage of a ghost. Like there's just like, you can edit stuff nowadays. So
sure.
Once you've seen it with your own two eyes or heard it with your ears, you're a believer now. I believe it.
Did you hear or see the ghost, or did you hear or see
sounds and
events that are leading you to conclude that there's a ghost?
Right. Okay.
The latter?
So it was no. Didn't see anything. It was just the noises and seeing water turn on, turn back off by itself.
Okay.
And the TV, like same thing. So no, didn't see any figure or anything like that, but there was definitely a spirit or entity, if you will.
Definitely.
There was something in the air, and it was her.
Are you 100% sure that it's the case, or somewhere else?
I mean, it could be something else. I don't know, what else would it be?
Let's say that I want to throw a hypothetical out at you, and sometimes people don't like hypotheticals, and that's fine. I could probably go at it about a different way if I had to, but let's say your father said that this isn't the ghost of your aunt. These are actual leprechauns that live in this area of the woods. And when we come to visit, they like being around us, and they come and play all these little tricks on us. Would you be just as confident if he had given you that as the explanation than ghosts?
Depends on what he has to follow up with it. Like, you gotta give me some reason or some evidence that the leprechauns are in the woods in our little area. Like, I've never seen any. Gotta back it up with something. Definitely. I would laugh at him, and then I'd be like, okay, what makes you think that?
Oh, you'd actually push back a little bit if he said that these were leprechauns.
Well, I mean, I would want to hear what he has to say
to justify it.
Exactly.
Okay. We had 4 minutes. Do you mind if I ask you a few more questions? Sure. Okay. Do you have time?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it sounded like you were saying that if my dad had told me something other as the explanation for these events that are happening in the house, I would demand evidence to back it up.
Right.
Did you request the same thing when he offered the explanation of it being his sister?
Nope. Right. I think it just was because it was my aunt, and it was understood, and I didn't really. I mean, it was understood. Like, I grew up with her, and then she was gone, and then the stuff that she does in that house when she was alive was the same things that was happening when she was gone in the house. So like rocking chairs on the back porch when the cows come in, only when the cows come in.
There was some familiarity with the things that she would do when she was around, and the things that are still continuing to happen in the house to this day.
That's how I correlated it together.
Yeah.
As I got older, of course. I only knew her for a few years.
Okay.
So that was like the nail in that's what made it true to me. Because he would say, that's what she used to do, that's what she used to do.
So to go back to my hypothetical, let's say that he actually did tell you that there were leprechauns, running around the woods, and that they would be attracted to the activity in the house when you guys were there hunting. And he would go on to explain the things that the leprechauns were capable of doing. They might turn the water on, they might be running down the hallway, all the things that you're currently seeing and calling the ghost of your aunt. Would you find that compelling? Would you find that a compelling reason to believe in leprechauns?
No, he'd have to he'd have to back it up with something.
You'd want evidence in that instance. The correlation between the events that are happening and what he was proposing these things are capable of doing wouldn't be enough if it was leprechauns.
Yeah.
And yet it's enough if it's the ghost of your aunt. Is that what I'm hearing?
That is, yeah. I don't know, man. That's just evil little leprechauns. I don't know, man.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Can we wrap it up here at this point? And
sure.
Yeah? Did you want to keep going? Do you want to ask me more? No. This could actually be a back and forth. If you want to know where I'm at On a scale from 0 to 100, that ghost survey, I'll be happy to share that with you.
What are you like? What are you doing here?
I am trying to help people take another look at the views that they have and how they're getting there.
Are you a philosopher or something?
No, I'm the opposite of a philosopher.
Are you? What are you? Are you a YouTuber?
I do have a YouTube channel.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But like you just...
I have an interest in how people are coming to think that things are true, because I noticed that we act out on the views that we have. And a lot of the beliefs that we have are not as benign as the one that I think we just discussed.
Yeah.
But they might cause somebody to go vote for a candidate because they think that that's the perfect person for that job, or they might want something taught in schools to kids because they're sure that something is real.
Yeah.
And I think there's value.
Yeah, you can definitely throw politics into it.
Yeah, we have actually. I have people that either the first time around or they come back for a second or third chat, and we talk about other stuff like politics.
Oh, cool.
It doesn't have to be supernatural. But to answer your question, I find value in exploring the reasons and the methods that we're using to validate the reasons for all the claims that we tend to make. Because I think it's important to, maybe I'm going off on a tangent here. Stop me if I'm going too much here. I think there's value in believing as many true things as possible and getting rid of as many false things as possible. And I think exploring the thoughts that we have in this way can be really effective in helping us decide what box those views go in. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
I agree.
And we tend to argue about sensitive topics too, like politics.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've ever talked to somebody about Trump or guns or God, they tend to be very contentious. And what I'm hoping that you observed in this conversation, which is what happens in other conversations, they're usually extremely respectful. Mm-hmm. And productive, I think, as well. And you don't usually get that in a debate.
Yeah, I know. There wasn't really anyone... I didn't really like Trump as a person before, so, but I wouldn't put Hillary in office. It was either... Mm-hmm. It was bad or even worse. Did
you vote in the 2016 election?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Do you care sharing who you voted for?
Yeah, I voted for Trump because I figured that he was... I think if Hillary went into office, it just would have went to shit. Trump was, like I was saying, he wasn't very nice of a guy before he went into office, but he was the one that was going to actually do everything that he said he was going to do.
Get us out of the wars, drain the swamp.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Cut expenditures.
Yeah, but I grew up in Texas, so conservative, small town, country, religion, the basic way of living. So that's just what my parents taught us, that the way I grew up is a conservative way of living. Mm-hmm. I go to church on Sunday, everything's, by the book.
Yeah.
Don't venture off and make all the different accusations as like the left. And sure. I don't know, I just think the traditional way of living is how it should be. And I think there's going to be a Republican president until I die.
Is that right?
I think so.
Okay. You think the majority of the population shares your views?
Oh, no.
Oh.
The majority?
Wouldn't that be what it takes, though, to keep
but
someone like Trump in
the silent majority? You know what that is. There's all those people on Twitter and Facebook and everything.
The silent majority.
Oh, it's you. If I open up Twitter right now and scroll through, everyone on Twitter is, for the most part, liberal. And people feed into that and believe that a lot more. And then there's people that don't say anything on Twitter that are, I wouldn't say always more educated, but some of them are a lot more educated than the others, and they just don't say anything, and they know when to keep their mouth shut. Don't talk about it, just go vote.
Okay, I see.
And I also think that they should make a new law when voting. It shouldn't just be like an easy check yes, check no. You should actually have some you have to actually be educated in that topic. I'm not saying you have to have a certain type of educational level to vote or intelligence level to vote, but you should definitely know what you're talking about before you make an executive decision like voting for the president.
Yeah.
Maybe we should
I think that would be useful.
Like a council of people instead of just one person, like it's a popularity contest.
Did you ever go to those websites that, I think there's one called I Side With, and there's some apps too, where it asks you where you stand on specific issues, you sort of back into a candidate rather than starting it with a candidate and seeing what she stands for or he stands for.
You trying to find fair ground between who you're trying to vote for?
No, you actually fill out a survey of where you stand on the minimum wage.
Right. And then it kind of takes you to the
military spending, healthcare.
I agree.
And then it tells you which candidate best represents your views.
I agree. Rather than just clicking on a name because that's what your cousin's ex-husband, boyfriend told you.
Or the letter after their name is my tribe, so therefore I'm just going to go with them.
Exactly.
When if you start looking at the issues that they represent and where they stand on it, we could potentially be surprised that we don't side with them all the time on every single thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. That was great.
But it's good.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, the idea here is what I'm also trying to do is not only have one conversation, it's not too hard to get people to stop and do one.
Yeah.
Even people that might feel sad for me that I'm out here doing this.
How long
not that you. I've only been out here for like 30 minutes.
Okay. How many conversations have you had?
You might actually be my first one.
Cool.
Trying to think now. I had a brief one with a guy who's come back 3 times. He's getting ready to come back for a 4th one.
Cool.
So would you like to have one of these 3 pieces as a reminder of the talk and as a gift?
Sure.
Which color would you like?
Red. Red's my favorite.
Take it? That has some marker on it, sorry.
That's okay. Do I come back and next time I find you...
You don't have to, but if you want to come back and build out the set, you can do that.
Cool.
And then in the meantime, if you want to look more into what I'm doing, just search for Street Epistemology.
Okay.
And then I have a card with my email on it too.
Well, I'll put this in my bag, and I come up and down these steps all the time, so if you're here, I'll give it to you.
Here's my rule of thumb. If the weather's good and I have availability, and it's not too noisy, I'll try to be here.
Okay. Well, I don't really go in there or down there, so if you're right here...
I'm going to always try to be here, unless I get chased out because of the noise.
Sure.
That was really cool. Thank you for your time and sharing your thoughts. Appreciate it. Hope to see you around.
Have a good one.
All right.
I'm really into photography, so I just wanted to ask what you were doing, sir.
You're doing what now?
What you were doing?
I'm interviewing people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Are you part of the newspaper here?
No.
Oh.
No, I just got here. It's my first year.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, you do photography?
Yeah, I have a Canon T6i Rebel.
Oh, are you interested in my equipment or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have my drone here also.
You got a drone? Is it easy to put the drone up?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Could you get some drone footage of me?
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
I actually did one.
I'll pay you for your time. If you want to fly a drone over me, I'd love that. The weather's perfect.
Where is it?
What's your name?
Edgar.
My name is Anthony. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You just happened to just stop by and see me out here and just ask me that?
It's just that I've seen you before. And I was wondering what is he doing?